Hey everybody, so I hope it doesn't bother you that I'm like literally vlogging for today's video. I just thought it felt kind of appropriate and I wanted to have a candid conversation with you guys. So I found out that I 4-pointed this last semester at graduate school and I'm really proud of myself. I'm a little bit surprised because I told myself going into this semester that I wasn't going to try as hard. Like, yes, I would try hard and I would try to learn stuff because that's why I'm paying thousands of dollars for a master's degree, but I used to put so much pressure on myself that like I had to get perfect scores, and I didn't want that pressure because I have a full-time job that I go to 8:30 to 5. Like, that's even more than a full-time job, more than 40 hours a week. And so I just told myself that the goal is to get the degree and not to do perfect. And I guess I had built up habits, really good habits over the years, that even though I wasn't putting as much pressure on myself, I still managed to get a 4.0 and to get an A and get perfect scores in all of my classes. So I'm gonna talk about how I did that. A lot of people, when they hear this, they'll just be like, oh, but she's just like naturally smart, she always gets good grades, like she doesn't have to try hard. And that is such a misconception, because I do believe that there are some people out there who that is the case. They don't have to try hard, they just like show up and they don't have to study and they show up and they get the results. And that is really annoying to me. Like, that used to make me so mad, but it doesn't make me mad anymore, because where they make up for certain skills, they definitely lack in others. But for me, it's definitely not that. Like, yes, I do think I am a little bit naturally smart, but these are skills in my master's program that I have not learned before, so I'm completely unfamiliar with them, which means that I just have to rely on my study skills and all of those to learn. So the way that my master's work is I am doing it online, but I still have to show up for like Zoom classes every single night. So I go to work from 8:30 to 5. I'm really exhausted, so my hearing is not as good as it could be if I was fully rested, but I have to sit through Zoom classes and then do homework and then tests and group projects and all that stuff. So it definitely is a little bit harder because I don't have 100% of my energy to focus and to hear the things. But that's why it is so important to contact the school and the Office of Disabilities and to get a plan. So I have a transcriber, and the transcriber like translates everything that happens in class, and that is key. Like, that is the reason why I was able to thrive in all of my classes, is because I took the pressure off of myself to hear everything that goes on in class and to write down everything that goes on in class, so I can just be hands-free and focus on what is going on and write down my questions and the things that I don't understand, and then go back later and look at the transcription. And I know that's like more work than not having a transcriber and just retaining everything during the class, but as somebody that has a hearing disability, that's never been able to happen, and I just have to recognize that I have to put a little bit more effort and work into it and a little bit more time into it, but it'll pay off in the end. So definitely make sure that you know what you need. And it is a little bit different because I've only been used to having these accommodations, aside from COVID, in the classroom, but this is a completely online thing, and so I did have to learn a little bit, but a transcriber has been key because it is even harder to focus on what the professor is saying through Zoom, because the time lags a little bit. It's harder to lip read. It's just the volume and the sound quality is a little bit fuzzy. So that had been the number one thing for me. Like, obviously I can't request to sit closer because we're all on our computer screens, but that had been key. Now the other thing, and I know a lot of people feel like annoying doing this, I was the girl that would email my professor like every week, multiple times a week. So sometimes I had asynchronous classes, which means that we don't meet. It's all like through an online format, and even through then, where most people would have no contact with their professors, I would email them like all the time, like set up meeting, talk to them, because number one, I think it helps to build a rapport and just have them know who you are. It like always helps. But number two, like a lot of times I genuinely had questions, and if you're paying for an education, it's not cheap, thousands and thousands of dollars, you need to know what's going on. Like you need to get your money's worth. So I would always be the person that would email their professors, set up meetings, and it helps so much. Like I highly recommend that. They don't find you annoying unless you're asking a question that's like on the syllabus, on the instructions. Like definitely do your research and don't contact them for no reason. Like actually have a genuine question. But if you have questions, definitely contact the professor, because that's the reason why I was able to do it. Also, number three, this is a big thing, is I always did everything early. I hated procrastinating, because the couple of times that I did, just because life got away from me, it was just really stressful. Number one, because I didn't feel that cushion of time to ask the professor, but also like the work and the quality of work, I could tell definitely suffered, because I was doing it with a time constraint. I don't like working with super bad time constraints unless it's a writing project. I find that my writing is really good under pressure, but that's beside the point. I really liked doing things like a week before it was due, and I found that like with a couple of my classes I was able to get weeks, even months ahead, and it was great. So definitely do everything early, because it gives you time to talk to your other classmates and talk to your professors. And then the last thing is, if you are doing a program that has a lot of group work, because that's what mine is, number one, pick people that are good. Like don't just pick your friend. I always picked people who I thought were smarter than me, because I just love to work with people that I think are smarter and better than me, and that just makes me learn more, and it makes the process go better, but also hold your weight, because I hate when people don't hold their weight in group projects. So definitely keep up and hold your weight, but work with people that you know are going to be good, because that would key to the program. So yeah, those are the little things that I did that helped me get a 4.0, even with a full-time job, and even with a hearing loss. It is possible. You don't have to be naturally smart, you just have to put effort in. Know what works for you. I've also been like doing education and classes for years and years and years. This is like my 17th year, so I know what works for me, and you can do it too. Okay, that was it for this video, and I'll see you tomorrow.